Hello everyone, it's James from Theresa's Sound World. Now I'm actually doing a live vlog this evening, and the reason is I've been getting into vlogging a lot more and I'm waiting for a replacement laptop, and in the meantime my iPhone just isn't up to what it should be and it keeps cutting out when I'm trying to do pre-recorded vlogs. So I'm just going to do this live. So this is a vlog. Last week I did a written blog, but this week it's obviously a vlog, and it's following a docu-series about a hardcore punk band called Daggers from the US, and it's following their first US tour. They do 4 dates and it's just them on the road, and it's me reviewing episode by episode what I think, and just freestyling and just saying my thoughts on it. And when I sat down to write this one, I just couldn't really express it in written words. It sometimes goes like that, so I'm using the vlog format. So like I say, this is done by a company called Big Plan Pictures. The filmmaker is Sam Brown, and like I say, it follows Daggers, who are a hardcore punk band. And I've always been a fan of what we call in the UK these fly-on-the-wall music documentaries. 2 of my favourite music-connected documentary films are 1991, The Year Punk Broke, which features bands such as Sonic Youth, Nirvana, Dinosaur Jr., and it's got also Gumball and the Ramones and Babes in Toyland, and it follows their 1991 European tour. The other film I really enjoy is a 1981 punk film called DOA, A Rite of Passage, which follows mainly UK bands, but also some US punk bands as well, most notably the Sex Pistols on their abortive final tour. So I really enjoy these kind of things. And also with this band, Daggers, it's no different. It's great. They started off in episode 1 in New Orleans, and now they're on their way to San Antonio. And it just follows this whole, the frustration and the boredom, you know, no matter whether you're a megastar or a DIY band like Daggers, it's all the trials and tribulations of being on the road. And we see like the boredom, their frustrations, playing the live shows, any problems that occur, and any other unexpected adventures or characters they come across. So they do things like they end up in the Alamo, and they're all very underwhelmed by it, like we sometimes get, whether we're in a band or not, when we arrive at these destinations where we're supposed to be dazzled by the history of everything. And it's just very everyday for the band. I remember a documentary about the indie band Blur, and Graham Coxon, the guitarist, was there at Stonehenge, and just saying, you know, it's a bit shorter in real life, you know, like when you see Morrissey live. So it's a bit like that. Well, anyway, the band, they have to travel such distances. And as a resident of the UK, I really take it for granted that you can travel the country within a couple of hours, you know, from side to side. But this band, they seem to be on the road constantly, and they're exhausted, and you know, they're just so fed up with the travel. But eventually they get to their destination, which weirdly is in a restaurant of all places. And the band are real troopers. They just get on with it, and they watch what's going on. They just play, even though there's patrons eating, and it must be very off-putting to have, you know, like middle-aged people and families, you know, watching hardcore punk acts play, but they get on with it, and even though that it's awkward, they have a good time. It just really reminded me of a funny thing I was thinking about, a video of the disco band Earth, Wind and Fire, where I saw this bizarre video where the band were all the theatrics up in the stage, and down in the pit were all these 70s blokes chewing their food and looking up, and yeah, very bizarre. I don't really like the combination of eating and listening to music unless I'm at a festival, but Daggers cope really well. There's also footage of acts such as punk bands like Medusa, who have a really excellent singer. You know, she's fantastic. The band hadn't actually encountered her before, so, you know, a great band. There's also bands Sudden Attack, FIQ, and The Unexpressed as well. well. Just as the bands are playing, you get the dialogue over the top, and it's quite impressive the way it's edited as well. That's one thing about this series, it's very sharply edited. You get the music playing, and then you see the bands playing, but you get the dialogue over the top. It's very professionally shot, very clean as well. The sort of digital aspect, you know, it's straightforward like hardcore punk. That's the way it should be, really. There's no pretension, there's, you know, no filters or anything. It's just done very simply, and it's very effective. We see the band having to crash at another band's house and having to put up with a drunken neighbour who gets wind at their musicians and serenades them with his drunken songs. So it's all these kind of unexpected things you see on the road, and it's great. It's really, you know, nice to look at. So anyway, somehow when I finish this video, I'm going to edit it, so I'm going to put in a link to episode 2 of this series on YouTube on the Big Plan Pictures channel. And then if you haven't seen episode 1, obviously you can access that. But also looking at all the bands, I'm going to put Bandcamp links as well. I'm going to edit this into a post and put links to all the bands so you can have a listen. So obviously Dagger, it's all Bandcamp links. So Dagger, Medusa, Sudden Attack, FIQ, The Unexpressed. And also in the title sequence at the end, or the end credits, there's a band called Big Band. So that's really, you know, a nice tune that they've used at the end as well. So I'm going to leave all those tracks to be like a mini playlist, really. But thank you to everyone watching, and this was just really an experiment because I've had such technical problems, and I thought I'd just do it as a live thing. So thank you very much all for watching, and next Thursday we're on to episode 3. Cheers for now.